Hey, love, and welcome to the Luv MEESH Podcast. It's a billion podcasts to listen to, and the universe guided you right here to this one. It's 8 billion people in the world, yet you met me, and that is not by happen chance. This is a divine meeting, and may we guide each other well. I am in this world, but I'm not of it. On this podcast, you'll hear topics about both worlds, spiritual and earthly. My goal is to keep learning, evolving, and spreading love.
Do what the fuck he do?
Yeah.
Because I'm sitting there looking like, yo, man, Vita should be here, man. Vita should be here. Because at that time, I was being styled by Arnell Simpson, O.J. Simpson's daughter, because she had designed all of my pregnancy.
If Bishop Jakes was at a Diddy party, there could only be 2 reasons. Money or sex. That's all that happens at Diddy parties. Money and sex. I hope it was for money.
Charitable contribution.
I hope it was for money, because arguing about who's going to put the strap on is... That can be a very uncomfortable situation. You know, we're going to pray on it. Praise the Lord, you know.
Amen.
From to this day, I don't understand why he continues to voluntarily make himself look like a fool, but I digress. Another user replied by saying, Ed Diddy could never read the room. That's why he put Biggie in harm's way and went back to LA too soon and got his friend and artist killed. Someone also tweeted concerning what Diddy said, saying, between Diddy and Chloe, I'm done with these rich folks and their rich folks' problems. These celebrities are so damn detached from reality, it makes me sick. I'm done. See, guys, Diddy acts this way and says these things because he's got a lot of resources. If not, the same person who doesn't pay his artists shouldn't come out in public and tell Americans to pay black artists. I mean, that boldness comes from the fact that he knows he owns these artists and they may never be free from him. Apart from Diddy's shady business dealings and mistreatment of his artists, Diddy is also known for escaping legal justice for most of his crimes. And we believe he can do this because he's got some very powerful lawyers on his side. Diddy may have been able to not only influence people, but also the judiciary. How do we know this? Well, Diddy's legal battles aren't exactly news to the world. And do you know what else isn't news? It's the way he always escapes his punishment each time. It's either he escapes it completely or he gets a punishment that doesn't fit the crime at all. Want to hear a perfect example? Remember when Diddy severely beat up and injured Interscope Records executive and Nas manager Steve Stout? Diddy was charged with assault in court for beating up the exec and leaving him in bad shape. According to Stout, he said, I was lying on the floor bleeding. My jaw and my head were all swollen. I couldn't move my arm. It was a traumatic experience. And in the middle of it, I didn't know exactly how to feel. I was upset, embarrassed, scared, angry. As far as I'm concerned, this was an attempt on my life. The only reason why I'm not dead is because they missed. But despite what Diddy did to Stout, the only punishment he got, instead of a 7-year sentence, was a 1-day anger management class. Can you believe that, guys? After all he did to Stout, he still pulled his strings and bypassed the prison sentence. While we aren't so surprised at this, it is evident why Diddy is untouchable in the industry. He has enough money and powerful friends in various sectors of the country to cover for his actions.
Paying your
You alive and kept you safe. I will advocate for you. I went to shits. Fuck Honeycomb. But you are a victim. And I know that. Congratulations on surviving and congratulations on standing up. I'll advocate for you. Fuck that pussy and his little fucking dog.
Now you want to know what's crazy, Jaguar?
What?
I was, and I can just say it now because I mean I'm not gonna do it. So why not just talk about it now? I had an offer to go over there to Revolt.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yep, I had an offer. They've been watching, and you know I was told that, hey, I can have you in a room with Puff tomorrow. And that just sounded crazy to me. That just like You can have me in the room with him tomorrow. Like, what? Excuse me?
Like it's the grandest honor on earth.
You didn't say we could have a meeting to talk about XYZ. You didn't say we could. You didn't say nothing about business. You said, oh, I can have you in the room with him tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
What was I going to have to do in this room?
I don't know. Ask Puff. He had to do it with Andre Harrell.
All I can do is suck my teeth. Then I was told we can make you the next Jason Lee. I ain't trying to be another Jason Lee.
Who wants to be Jason Lee?
You already got that. Why I need to come over there and do that?
Jason Lee barely needs to be Jason Lee himself.
Why y'all say the boom boom room? That is crazy.
Look, they can call it what they want to call it. Pound, town, city, whatever the fuck you want. I don't know. What I will tell you is there are too many people that I do not have direct connection to that are saying the exact same things that I started saying right here on this very channel 3 years ago. Period.
That is a fact. That is a fact.
And I think for that, I think a little reunion conversation is in order.
I think so too. I think it's time to run it back. Let's end it there. I'm gonna email you. All right.
Hey loves, and welcome to another podcast episode of the Love MEESH Podcast. So, baby, the tea is piping hot. It's still on the stove. It's brewing. So, have you guys heard about Diddy? Let me just be the first one to say, him and Cassie was together for so long. When she left, I already was like, red flag. Something is wrong. Like, it just wasn't right. They didn't get married. They didn't have any kids. It was just very, Now that I'm learning about sex trafficking and Epstein Island and different stuff like this, like, women really be trapped out there. Like, blink once, blink twice if you need help. I wonder who else is going to come out. Because it's not just Cassie. What with some girls? Is Danity Kane going to come out? Is anybody else going to come out? Was anybody else? Man, this goes deep. This makes me think about... Okay, when I think about suing somebody, lawyers make so much money. They're not going to pick up a bogus-ass case. They will only pick up a case if they know they're going to win. So the fact that her lawyer is going forward with this means that she's going to win. And the fact that she's still alive is kind of scary to me because I already know how they play. But this just makes me think back. His wife, I heard allegedly she was going to write a tell-all book. This makes me think of Tupac and Biggie. Like, who else? You know what I mean? Who else? Okay, J-Lo, you was with him. Come on, J-Lo, we're going to need you to step forward. Mariah Carey. Like, why are the girls quiet? Like, women, it's time. It's time. Bring back the Me Too. It's time. Expose people for what they are and what they do. And hang them on the cross. Baby, let them pay for their sins. When it comes to drugs and parties and sex... That's a touchy subject for me because not all men are brave enough to say, like, I like you, let's hook up. They want to slip something in your drink. You know what I mean? And you will never know. I'm reading Paris Hilton's book, and she remembers sneaking out real young and dumb. I've done that before with a friend. Sneaking out to go see boys, and he wanted her to drink this drink so bad. And she was like, okay. She said she took the tiniest sip and woke up in this man's bed, violated. And he kept saying, you had a nice dream, didn't you? Do you remember anything? You just had a nice dream, didn't you? It was just a nice dream. Like, guys are real creeps out here. I'm going to be so hard on my son. You don't even touch her if she's drunk, high, or any of that. If she ain't sober, you not finna have a good time. Because why? That is such a pervert. I got to get this girl drunk. I got to get this girl overdosed to have sex. What? That is such pervert. It's so many perverts working around. They don't even know it. Even thinking back in high school, you're 18, 19, 20 years old and talking to a 16-year-old perv. That shit was not cool. That was not okay. You know what I mean? I just look at guys like real pet predator style now. Like, thank God for my dad. But I almost feel like, is it a part of every man? Do they have to turn it off? Do they have to work at it every day? I'm pretty sure women may be like that, but I think we're more mothering and nurturing. But I know there's a lot of men that have admitted that their babysitters have raped them. So I'm not going to let them off the hook, but just do it the right way. I don't understand. Anyways, getting back to Diddy and Cassie, my heart goes out to her. Like, forcing her to sleep with people for your entertainment. Like, Miami, is you okay, girl? Blink. Is the money worth your soul? Like, what the this world is crazy, y'all. But I also feel like something is going on in the background. They're using Diddy to you know, we got ADHD, little focus. So get up on your ginger, get up on your teas, your vitamin C. It is getting cold. It's probably another COVID going around. They ain't saying nothing. It's probably war brewing. Like, why they got us focused on this, there is something in the background. So I do want to say that. But this makes me question everything. Like, Hollywood, you know what their problem is? They're normal ass people that try to act so perfect that they don't want their secrets exposed. If you just live a regular ass life like everybody else, you wouldn't give a crap. You know, you just wouldn't give a crap. If you gay, you're gay. But because you want to be so perfect, you don't want nobody to know that you're gay. That would be too much for me. It is what it is. I like my coat. You know what I mean? I like girls. I like boys. Whatever. Just, I wouldn't try to take it or leave it. This is me. So yeah, that kind of alarmed me. Like, poor Cassie. She's married now and has families. Like, how brave is she? And at first I was thinking, like, why do you wait so long to, you know, go after your predator or sue them or, you know. But I've learned that there is no time limit on when you decide to seek justice, because you have to build up to that. You have to forgive yourself, you know, accept, you know, your blame in it all, you know, build up that courage, build up that muscle, and then go after them. But it's a lot of women that have that story of being drugged and being taken advantage of and all this stuff. And it's just like, moms teach your sons, aunties teach your nephews. Like, that is not cool. That is not okay. If it can't happen sober, you might want to question that. You know what I mean? Like, that is not okay. Very, very predator. So let me get started. Diddy, real name Sean Combs, is sued by ex-girlfriend R&B singer Cassie for rape and repeated physical abuse over a decade. Musical mogul vehemently denies the allegations. This is on Daily Mail. Of course, I'm going to link the link so that you can read it for yourself. Now, I just want to point out the fact that they were dating because it says ex-girlfriend, and you can rape your girlfriend or your boyfriend. If someone says no and you have to drug them, if someone says no and you are whatever sneaky tactics you want to use, it's rape. Okay? And I hate that it happened to her repeatedly. So she had to escape, but I hate that there's so many pictures of them hugging and smiling. Like, girl, we would have never known that you needed help because none of your pictures showed it. So let me keep going. The rapper, who goes by P. Diddy, allegedly controlled and abused Cassie for over a decade, as well as forcing her to have sex with multiple male prostitutes. Of course, Diddy denies. Cassie's lawyer claims Diddy offered her 8 figures to silence her and prevent the filing of the lawsuit, but she declined to give voice to all women. So to me, that means there's other victims. You know who I feel sad for? Those children. Can you imagine hearing in the tabloids that your dad, you know what I mean, raped someone? Or did you ever see them fighting, throwing stuff, her screaming or crying? Like, how do you feel if someone says, you know, your dad raped this woman and did all this stuff, like, how would you feel? Like, your dad is your king, your hero, you're a man, Prince Charming. Like, I just feel bad for the kids and for the young men. Are you going to be like your dad? You know what I mean? A lot of men that are abusive, their dad was. You pick that shit up. So do we have another generation that's going to be beating up on women and forcing them to have sex with prostitutes? You fuck them prostitutes and record yourself. What I got to do with it? Why I got to do it? That is so sad. So yeah, let me keep going. He controlled and abused her for over a decade with drugs, beating her, forcing her to have sex with multiple prostitutes while he watched and recorded. So he probably was trying to blackmail her. You do this, you that, I'm going to release your videos. You know how we don't mind doing it, because I've had my share of videos, but not for the whole world. It's supposed to be for your ass. You know what I mean? It says they met in 2005 when she was 19. I'm pretty sure she was younger than that. On some Epstein Island, on some Bill Cosby, on some, this is what Hollywood like. They like those young girls. Because weren't those girls in the Playboy Mansion real young too? Like, sex trafficking is deep, y'all. So I think at the highest level, when you're sex trafficked, they call you a girlfriend. So everybody think you're a girlfriend, but no, you can't leave if you want to. You're trapped. I don't like that. So they split in 2018. The lawsuit claims that just before the end of their relationship, he forced his way into her home and raped her. That's crazy. That is crazy. To be raped, to be drugged, to be raped. Like, oh my God. That's like a demon, a monster that you have to sit with that and heal from that. Like, that does something to you for the rest of your life. So Diddy, 54, of course, he denies. Cassie, whose real name is Cassandra Ventura, said in a legal document that was filed in Manhattan's federal court on Thursday, after years in silence and darkness, I am finally ready to tell my story and to speak up on behalf of myself and for the benefit of other women who face violence and abuse in their relationships. I'm so glad she said that. Yes, you can be in a relationship and be abused. Yes, you can be in a relationship with violence. And yes, you can be in a whole relationship and be raped. I'm glad she went this route, because we see what happens when you try to write a book. Maybe you don't live to see another day. So I'm glad she went this route. But I also think if he is, of course, we got to wait to see what happens in court or whatever. But some people need help. Like, let's not just, of course, wrong is wrong and justice needs to be served, but they need help. You don't just let them free to find a new victim, city girl. They need help. They need therapists. They need retraining, remolding, whatever. Like, it's going to continue. If he has to pay a fine, if he has to do community service, if he goes to jail, without correcting the behavior, it continues. Another victim will suffer. So I hope somebody mentions that through all of this. But to offer somebody 8 figures, I'm used to 6 figures, y'all. This man said 8. And for her to turn it down, it must be worse than we think. Because would you turn down 8 figures? I'm just saying, it had to be. I'm sure she didn't tell us everything. And I know she probably was pregnant over those years. And he probably forced her to probably drug her and had an abortion. Like poor Brittany put in her book. I'm sure she didn't want no abortion. They forced her to. Let's see. I want to read some of these allegations, y'all. So among the serious allegations, Diddy sex trafficked Cassie at 37 to male prostitutes to fulfill his fantasies in hotels. The lawsuit claims that she was directed to have sex with multiple men. Oh my God, that's a train, y'all. Sometimes in masks and costumes with music to be watched and masturbated and filmed. Now, if that's what somebody wants to do, have at it, have fun, but against their will? Like, how sick are you to know that this person doesn't want to do that and you enjoy it? I don't want you crying and screaming and upset. I want you enjoying it, just like me. Like, what? Something's wrong with people. Okay, so Cassie in the documents called the ordeal horrific encounter. She said that she had to take drugs to dissociate during the arrangements with Diddy and his alleged freak-offs. The lawsuit states that the music executive who she first met as a teenager, I knew it, told her it would turn him on if he saw her with another dick, y'all. Oh my God. He allegedly hired a man, brought him to his home to engage in sexual acts with Cassie. So city girl is sleeping with men. Girl, weeks since we noticed it's his fetish. Mr. Combs directed Miss Venture to perform sexual acts with this man while Mr. Combs watched them. The lawsuit states he masturbated while he directed Miss Ventura and the man to do specific sexual. Oh, he got live porn, y'all. The entire encounter lasted multiple days. Poor baby. She claimed Diddy got drunk during a freak-off in 2016 and punched her in the face with the black eye. I'm pretty sure that was all the time, whenever she didn't comply. Cassie said that she tried to leave the hotel room when he fell asleep and he woke up and began screaming at her. I'm sure that wasn't all. He allegedly grabbed at her, took the glass vase in the hallway and threw it at her, causing the glass to crash around him, and she ran to the elevator to escape. My prayer is that women all over the world would come forward with their stories, because you shouldn't be in a relationship like this, and I don't think women understand that. And that's why they stay. And if you stay and you don't, when you leave, you teach them a lesson and they are better for the next woman. But if you stay, that monster is growing and teaching your kids. So I hope this does something. He allegedly grabbed her. She managed to escape to her apartment, but claimed that if she returned over fears that he would be angrier. So what does that mean? Her mom and dad? You get what I'm saying? You got to read between the lines, y'all. When she returned, hotel security urged her to get back in the cab and go to her apartment, suggesting that they had seen the security footage showing Mr. Combs beating her and throwing glass at her in the hallway. I keep hearing hotel. Y'all, these hotels be in on it. Because listen to this. Diddy paid the hotel staff $50,000 for the hallway security footage from that evening. Now, y'all remember that girl was missing in that hotel in the freezer? Who's not to say somebody gave that hotel some money and took that tape? Oh, okay. It's right here, black and white. Those hotels be in on it. On another occasion in 2013, Diddy set up a freak-off and was charged tens of thousands of dollars in damage by the hotel. Cassie was expected to facilitate the locations, hiring the male sex workers for the freak-offs. She was instructed to use a website and escort services to find men with large black penises. So I love me a good stripper show. I wonder if some strippers are going to come forward and say, oh, they probably don't want to mess up their money, huh? It's alleged that Diddy would insist on the encounters weekly and that he repeatedly told her it was our thing and our secret. Weekly? Girl, she probably is ran through, y'all. Cassie claimed the freak-offs would often take place in hotel suites, including Trump International Hotel. I want to hear from Trump. Beverly Hills, London Hotel, Los Angeles. I want to hear from all these hotels, baby. His assistants would allegedly help set up the freak-offs by providing baby oil and lubricants. The lawsuit states, girl, baby oil and lubricant, that's anal. Women don't need that. Okay, Mr. Combs always supplied her and the sex worker with drugs. Oh, he wanted her high. She was given ecstasy, cocaine, GHB. Y'all, I'm a little green. What's GHB? Ketamine, marijuana. What's ketamine? Marijuana, alcohol in excessive amounts which allowed her to dissociate during the event. I think this girl was drugged. And Britney Spears seems the same way. I think they be drugged every damn day. They don't know left from right. What's going on? Probably put it in their food, their orange juice for breakfast, lunch, dinner. They probably just be high all damn day. Probably seem like a blur, like a dream. Okay, let me get into these, cause baby, they done pulled the court documents, honey. They done pulled the court documents, so the court document says, trigger warning, this document contains highly graphic information of a sexual nature, including sexual assault. Civil case number 23CV10098, United States District Court, Southern District of New York. Cassandra Ventura is the plaintiff. Sean Combs, Bad Boy Entertainment, Bad Boys Record, Epic, damn, she did all of it. Epic Records, Combs Enterprise LLC, and DOE Corpse 110 are the defendants. The plaintiff, Cassandra Ventura, Miss Ventura, hereby alleges as and for her complaints against defendant Sean Combs, Mr. Combs, Bad Boy Entertainment, Defendant Sean Combs is a rapper and record executive, popularly known by his stage names as Puff Daddy, P. Diddy, or Diddy. Mr. Combs came to fame, and girl, I'm not going to read this. The truth, however, is Cassie, this is on page 2 of 35. Number 3, the truth, however, is Cassie, Miss Cassandra Ventura, was held down by Mr. Combs and endured over a decade of his violent behavior and disturbed demands. Held down. Is that rape, y'all? Miss Ventura, the dark times were those she spent trapped with Mr. Combs in a cycle of abuse, violence, and sex trafficking. I knew it, y'all. I bet this is tied to Little Child Island. I bet this is tied to... Didn't they just bust down a ring of judges, of officers, of CEOs, of lawyers, sex trafficking? So this is a huge thing, y'all. When you hear girlfriend now, ask her if she's okay, because she's probably drugged up and being trafficked. And I think Britney is on this too. They need to let Britney go. Let me keep going. Let's see. Really? I turned it down. I got the heater on. Okay, so let's see. She called them dark times, y'all. That probably was her blackouts. A cycle of violence, sex trafficking, and other violent and unlawful acts. You know what's so sad? You read this as if it's a story, and this was somebody's life that is going to be known to the world. You know, sometimes you want to take these secrets to the grave with you, but the whole world knows now. He raped Miss Ventura in her own home after she tried to leave. He often punched, beat, and kicked and stomped her, resulting in bruises, bust lips, black eyes, and bleeding. Y'all remember Aaliyah had that swoop over her eye? Oh, all right. He blew up a man's car after he learned that he was romantically interested in her. He forced Miss Ventura to engage in sex acts with male sex workers while masturbating and filming the encounters. He ran out of his apartment with a firearm in pursuit of a rival industry executive whom he learned was nearby. He demanded that Miss Ventura to carry his firearm in her purse just to make her uncomfortable and demonstrate how dangerous he is, and introduced Miss Ventura to a lifestyle of excessive alcohol and substance abuse, and required her to procure illicit prescriptions to satisfy his own addiction. Girl, now you can get me a prescription all day, but if I'm gonna take it, that means you watched me, you forced me, or you pushed it down my throat. Like, come on, y'all gotta read between the lines. Number 4, Miss Ventura met Mr. Combs in 2005 when she was 19 years old and he was 37 years old. Why are you 37 talking to a 19-year-old? Red flag. He signed her to his label, Bad Boy Records, and within a few years, he lured Miss Ventura into an unstitious, fast-paced, and drug-fueled lifestyle and into a romantic relationship with him, her boss, one of the most powerful men in the entertainment industry, and a vicious, cruel, and controlling man nearly 2 decades her senior. Mr. Combs asserted complete control over Miss Ventura's personal and professional life, thereby ensuring her inability to escape his hold. He provided unprecedented. I didn't do the next page, but I'm gonna read the next page. I have is 16 of 35. The first time Miss Combs hired a man and brought the man to the home in Los Angeles, the man, Mr. Combs, and Miss Ventura wore masquerade masks and ingested drugs. Mr. Combs directed Miss Ventura to perform sexual acts with the man. While Mr. Combs watched them, he masturbated while he directed Miss Ventura and the man to do specific sexual acts. The entire encounter lasted multiple days. Mr. Combs began to call the arrangements a freak off or FO. He would repeatedly tell Miss Ventura at random moments that he wanted to F off, and Miss Ventura was eventually expected to facilitate the location and the hiring of male sex workers. Girl, at certain points during Miss Ventura and Mr. Combs' relationship, he would insist on FO weekly. He would tell her this was our thing, our secret. The FOs, which are fuck offs, would often take place in hotel suites. So we named those already. On occasion, around 2013, Miss Combs had an F-off set up at the Intercontinental Hotel in New York, after which he was, I read that one already, he was charged thousands of dollars. So now I'm on page 20 of 35. Miss Ventura tries to escape Mr. Combs' abuse. Anytime she tried to create distance between her and Mr. Combs, he used his networks to find her and convince her to return home. So let's think about that. He used his networks to find her. With all this money, you got spies, you got paparazzi, you got police on your payroll, you got lawyers on your payroll, you probably got judges on your payroll. Regular people can hire a hitman. So with the amount of money that he has, he would use his networks to find her and convince her to come home. Now, mind you, if you leave, nothing can convince you to come back, right? They probably had a gun in her head and said, okay, you ran away again, come back. You know what I mean? On multiple occasions, Mr. Combs set his appointments to lure her back. In 2011, during a rough patch, she had a relationship with Kid Cudi. When Mr. Combs returned from a trip, he demanded a fuck off. He looked at her phone, found emails between her and Kid Cudi. He became upset and put a corkscrew between his fingers and lunged at Miss Ventura. God darn. Miss Ventura ran away to stay at Kid Cudi's home to escape. Soon after, staff members told her that he wanted to just talk, even though he was upset, feeling like she could not escape. She returned and he hit her several times and kicked her in the back as she tried to run out the door. She went to her parents' home in Connecticut, where her mother took pictures of the bruises Mr. Combs had left on her body. February 2012, during Fashion Week, Mr. Combs told Miss Ventura that he was going to blow up Kid Cudi's car and that he wanted to ensure that Kid Cudi was home with his friends when it happened. Around that time, Kid Cudi's car exploded in the driveway. Now, y'all, I remember when that happened. All this is telling me is that when you think about a kid, if you give them a penny, they're so happy I have a penny. Not knowing that there's a nickel, there's a dime, there's a quarter, there's a $50, there's a dollar, there's a $5, $10, $20, $50, $100. You get to your thousands. You get to your 10,000s, 100,000s, millions, billions, trillions. So if Diddy is a penny, right? If he's one of the pennies of this alleged sex traffic, drug, rape, whatever ring that's going on in the world, who is at the dollar level? Who is at the $10,000 level? Who is at the 100,000, million, billion, trillion? You get what I'm saying? I think they're locking away the little fish. And I hate that they're African American, because although these guys did really bad things, which you should face your punishment for whatever you do, right? If they move them out the way, the power and the money goes back into whose hands? Especially the bigger sharks. So that's like my biggest fear. Like, I don't know. It's like they're moving the money, if you ask me. Because if he's in jail, he's not going to be able to do his sponsorships. It's going to slow down his money, if not stop it, if those sponsorships are not going to pull back because of these allegations. You get what I'm saying? And again, my heart goes out to Cassie, and I'm glad she was brave enough to say something. I'm glad she's still alive. So this is basically her tell-all book. She just had to take it to the court, honey. And I feel bad for those kids, because they still got to go to school. Kids are mean as hell. You know, and then if you are a seed of your parent, like, how would you feel to know that your parent is a murderer or serial killer or raper, and you have their DNA? I'm sure that make you feel away. So, and my heart goes out to the victims that will come forward. My heart goes out to the victims that are never going to come forward. And my heart goes out to the victims that may have died. I'm just going to say it. My heart goes out. So we really have to do a better job, women, as raising these men with more love. I don't know what could be missing in their life till they turn this way. But jail can only do so much. There needs to be a retraining, a reprogramming to, you know what I mean? You could either do fix a flat, or you could get a new tire. You get what I'm saying? You could do fix a flat, you could get a used tire, or let's just get a new tire already. You know, fix a flat only going to work for so long. A used tire only going to work for so long. Why not just get a new tire? So I hope all of these people that need help get help, because I think we're missing a bigger piece of this puzzle. Like, what is it? And I'm happy that I'm starting to learn the brain now. Like, I am tapping into ADHD and autism for myself, but I know there's my sister took psychology, and there's so many mental illnesses out there, and I'm going to order the book and read them all, because you might bump your horn at somebody and think it's nothing, and they might get out and shoot you. Like, you don't know who that other person is and what kind of brain they're working with. You just don't know. Like, it's getting real out here. Like, you don't know. A serial killer just doesn't wake up and become a serial killer. Like, what breeds them? Like, what is growing them? What are they watching? Like, we're missing. We're failing our kids, because these damaged kids turn into these damaged adults. And instead of little kid crimes, they become adult murder and crimes. You get what I'm saying? So let's just do a better job of outing these men when they're wrong, because it happens in families too. Nobody want to talk about it. Everybody want to sweep it under the rug. No, let's just call a spade a spade. And for the women, why did you stay, knowing that he's bad and he needs help, and that he's hurting you or family members? Like, let's just call a spade a spade. And he needs help. But because we don't call them out, because we don't get them the help that they need, more and more victims are out. So I follow this page. It's called Tell Somebody. You can find it on Instagram. So if you have been touched, molested, raped, it's called Tell Somebody. And you can get on there and hold up a piece of paper. You could say your story. Like, there are support groups out there. If you've been sex trafficked, there are support groups out there. If you've been domestic abuse, there are groups out there. If you've been drug or rape, like, I went down this whole journey And I'm a part of each one of those groups. Women not even knowing that stuff was put in their drinks. Like, blacking out isn't really even normal like that. They're using drugs. So just be safe. Watch your surroundings. Make sure you're around good people, good friends, good family, that are going to take care of you just as you should take care of them. And yeah, this stuff happens and it changes people, and people have to get therapy, and this stuff stays with people forever. Like, it's not okay. You shouldn't do it to others, and they shouldn't do it to you. Like, what? People need help. Like, this is a generation of, you need motherfucking help. That's what's wrong. Everybody needs help. It needs to be mandatory. Who is your therapist? What prescriptions do your ass need? And yeah, everybody need to be like monitored a little bit more, because this is not okay. Judges and lawyers and doctors, and y'all are part of sex trafficking. Please help me understand. Talking about they can buy the girls anywhere from $300 to $3,000 when you can go to any corner. On every corner there is a church, and every corner there's a strip club. You can go in there and get the baddest bitch on the pole. You mean to tell me that instead of getting this girl that knows what she's doing and having a great time, mind you, and she won't mind being recorded and all that stuff because she want her cash, because she a city girl, right? You prey on the innocent, sex traffic. That girl parents probably think she dead, and she up in here entertaining your behind. This world is sick. This is like Sodom and Gomorrah, y'all. So I keep thinking about the Bible and how Jesus wasn't with that shit. He went with the Sadducees and the Pharisees. He flipped them tables in the church. Like, what side are you on? Because Jesus was hated. They didn't like him. So if everybody is on your side, you're on the wrong side. You're not supposed to be liking a lot of this stuff that's going on in the world. Because Jesus was not with it. And I think the same shit is going on today. That's the crazy part. And they're going to bring the hooker to God, talk about she need to be stoned. No. If you could tell me that she's a hooker, how do you know? Y'all not supposed to be around them, touching them or nothing. They supposed to be filthy. So that means all of y'all are her clients. And if I was Jesus, I would say, well, all of y'all line the fuck up. Because how do you know what she do? You're not even supposed to be around her, talking to her, nothing. So, yep, all of y'all need to be stoned. But y'all just want to crucify her. And that's probably the same thing that's going on today. Oh, she's a hoe, she's a scarlet, she's this, she's that. No, you and your beastly desires. Because if she don't got no clients, she don't got no job, she need to go find something else to do, right? Am I right? Let's call a spade a spade. So when I think back over history, my heart goes out to all the women. Marilyn Monroe, what did she know? What did little baby know? She was definitely about to write a tell-all. Talk about she overdosed drug in her behind. Y'all did that. Y'all overdosed that girl. Let me tell you, you can go on Netflix right now and type in assassinations. There is a documentary on governments killing other government officials to make it seem like it's a heart attack, make it seem like it's a stroke, make it seem like it's overdose, drugs, whatever. That documentary is out there. You have to have money to pay somebody to do that. And anybody can come up with money to get what they want done. So if we know that government officials are killing other government officials, making it seem like they have heart attacks, then these people over here are doing the same thing. Same thing. So stay alert, stay prayed up with your ancestors and your guardian angels and your physical protection and your spiritual protection, because this is a crazy world. Get you some cameras, front, back door. Get you some dogs if you can. Just do everything you can to protect yourself, because this is a really crazy world. Like, my heart goes out to all the missing kids. Like, they probably was walking to school one day and got yanked up. You know what I mean? Everybody ain't a bad kid, run away. So my heart just goes out to all the people that were kidnapped, killed. Even if they are alive, I bet they probably wish they were dead, so they won't have to do the crazy stuff that they asked them to do. You know what I mean? I hope we continue to find these people and bring them home. I hope that there are rehabilitation centers to help them, because how do you live life after that? Do you even love again? Do you want another woman or man to touch you? You know what I mean? Like, my God, trust. It's all fucked up. So yeah, love, peace, and blessings to Cassie. Thank you so much for your bravery. You're going to open up the door for so many women to share their story of abuse, sex traffic, rape, even within a relationship, so-called relationship. You know what I mean? You are going to open the door for so many women to step forward because of your bravery. And I know they're probably going to crucify you on a stake, and I commend you for your bravery. Like I said before, my heart goes out to the ones that are going to step forward. The ones that can't step forward for whatever their reasons may be. And for the ones that have passed, y'all. Pretty sure it was some brave women out there that tried to tell and did not live to see the light of day. You know? And my last prayer is to the people that need help. I don't know what kind of help you need, but you don't have to force anybody to do anything. Free will. Name your price. It's somebody out there that may want to do it, but for whatever reason, you like that torture aspect, that drug, that rape aspect, that power, that control aspect. You need help. And I hope you get the help that you need, you know? I'm going to continue to watch to see how this unfolds. I do know that money talks, so you could get a good lawyer and walk away free, baby. You can. I'm watching Suits now, and I'm at the beginning. One of the episodes, the man assaulted her and fired her. And hired the man, because he's the best lawyer ever, to get her off. And he was going to do it, and his intern was like, he's full of shit. And he kept getting on him to when he was on her side. Like, some people really just trying to pay their bills and they don't care. But I hope you dig deep into your heart and your soul and do the right thing, because you're going to talk to God, creator, source, Muahhh one day. And everybody that was your victim that cries, those tears are collected and you're going to drink them. You know? So sometimes when people get in accidents or get cancer and stuff, I don't say anything, because is that your karma? What did you do? You know what I mean? Sometimes we got to mind our business. Is that your karma? Or did you reap what you sowed? So yeah, we need more faith, y'all. We become lawless, just doing what we want to do. God is not pleased. God did not make us like that. It's not okay to hurt your brothers and your sisters for your own selfish gains or fetishes. That's not okay. It's bad bitches out there that will do it for free if you fall in love or marry them or date them or whatever. Or you got your other bad bitches that want some money. You don't have to get kids. What was he doing with a 17-year-old? You might as well say 16. That was a baby. That girl was trapped for 10. Can you imagine 10 years and this is something this man want to do every week? For weeks? And you drugged up? Can she even remember anything? You know what I mean? Like, this is crazy. Oh my God. So yeah, I just had to give my little take on that. Mothers, hug your sons, love on them, teach them right from wrong. If they got to get high and drunk and all that stuff, they probably don't need to be doing it, because she need to remember what's going on. She need to be able to consent, and him too, and just maybe start back going to church. That's what's wrong. My generation, we was raised in the church Sunday through Saturday, right? This generation, they probably don't even know God. We got to do better, y'all. Get back in church. Get back in tune with God. Follow the commandments, the morals, the principles, the standards. It's not okay. Like, we're breeding monsters, and they're only going to grow bigger and bigger. Like, we have to do something about this. Our babies are at stake. That could have been your little niece, your daughter, your nephew. How would you feel if they told you years later, from the age of 17 to 37, I was trapped and this is what this man wanted me to do? How would you feel? Your mama, your auntie, your daughter, me and your daughter. Like, that be embarrassing stuff you don't want to tell nobody. That does something to your psyche. So yeah, this one kind of hit close to home for me. So I had to share my little 2-piece. Talk to y'all later. Bye. Namaste, Lovaste, and always vibe high, babe. Thanks a million for listening. I hope you have a better than great day. I love you. Talk to you later.